1. We are the group 1 and we're going to present another but exemption, which is list of residential unit. So, list of residential unit is exempted to BAT if with a monthly income rental per unit not exceeding 15,000 pesos regardless to the amount aggregated of such rental received by a lessor during the year. So exempted siya kung dili siya kaabot og 15,000 iyang monthly rental. And next is monthly rental not exceed 15,000 but the aggregated of the such rental of the lessor during the year do not exceed 3 million, likewise be exempted from VAT. However, the same shall subject to percentage tax under section 116 of the tax code. So, kung ayang monthly rental kay mo exceed og 15,000, so subject siya sa percentage tax. And if iyang annual receipts mo exceed og 3 million, subject gihapon siya sa percentage tax but dili siya sa VAT. Next, so this is the illustration of list of residential and commercial units. So there is a test. The percentage tax rate under section 116 of the tax code as amended by Republic Act 11534 create law shall be as follows. So prior to July 1, 2021, naay 3% nga tax, naay 3% nga percentage tax rate. And then so from July 1, 2021 to June 30, 2023, ang tax rate, ang percentage tax rate is only 1%. And then beginning of July 1, 2023, mubalik na pod ang percentage tax rate under section 116 of the tax code into 3%. So, muna siyang illustration sa list of residential and commercial units, ang mga exempted. So, ni siya. List of residential unit, monthly in rent is less than or equal to 15,000, exempt siya from VAT. Monthly rent is greater than 15,000 and annual receipts of the lessor is greater than 3 million. It is subjected to VAT but not subjected to section 116, which is the percentage tax rate. So list of commercial units. So generally it is subject to VAT regardless of the monthly rental. Subject to OPT under section 116 if the lessor is non-VAT registered and annual gross receipt is less than or equal to 3 million. So sa residential unit, maglantaw siya sa iyang monthly rent. Kung mo greater than 15,000 iyang monthly rent, so subjected siya into VAT. Kung mukuan po siya, kung ang annual receipt niya is greater than 3 million, so subject sa VAT. Dapat mo exceed og yung monthly rental mo exceed og 15,000 and mo exceed po sa 3 million para subject siya sa VAT. But sa commercial units, kay subject siya sa VAT kung ang annual gross receipts is equal to greater than 3 million. Kung dili siya greater than 3 million or dili siya ma-exceed og 3 million, so kuan ra siya, subject to percentage tax. So next. So in case where the lessor has several residential unit or lease, some lease out of a monthly rental per unit of not exceeding 15,000 as amended, while other are leased out from more than 15,000 per unit, his tax liability will be the gross receipts from rental not exceeding 15,000 per month per unit shall be exempt from VAT regardless of the aggregate annual gross receipts. So moto siya kung dili mo exceed og 15,000 iyang per month sa iyang rentals, exempted siya sa VAT. So, next. The gross receipts from rentals exceeding 15,000 per unit per month shall be subjected to VAT if the annual gross receipt exceed 3 million as amended from the said units only, not including the gross receipts from units out of not more than 15,000. Otherwise, the gross receipts shall be subject to percentage tax. So, kani siya, kung daghan na siya og kanang gipa abangan for residential is kanang ang isa ani so example ang isa niya ka residential units nga giparintahan is ni ang monthly income is not exceeding 15,000 per month, so then wala pud ni exceed iya ang kuan kanang gross annual receipt sa 3 million, exempted siya sa VAT. But dere kung ang iya ang lain niya nga residential unit nga giparentahan ang monthly dayon yang gross annual receipt kay ni exceed pod og 3 million, subjected siya into VAT. But from ang uban kung ni exceed lang siya og kanang 16,000 iyang per month, dayon wala ni exceed og 3 million, subjected siya sa percentage tax. So, residential unit shall refer to apartment and houses and lots used for residential purposes. Kuan, kani siya kanang apartments or kanang mga balay nga gipaabangan nga puy-an nimo. So, kaning residential purposes is kauban nimo ang pamilya, which is kamo jud tanan ni puyoan nga balay. So, muna siya residential units, and building or part of units thereof used solely as dwelling place. So, ang example ani kay motel, hotel, kana siya. So, residential unit na siya kay mo man kanang gipuy-an ninyo as kanang inyo lang pahawayan or ganahan lang ka nga ikaw lang jud mag-inasara. So, units shall refer to apartment unit in case of apartment, houses in case of residential houses, per person in case of dormitories, boarding house, and bed space, and per room in case of room rate. So, kung units lang, so, apartment, ikaw lang nasa apartment, then, houses in case of residential house, which is ikaw lang jud pod, then, ang other is person in case of dormitories, kanang, nagpuwi ka sa dorm, boarding house, and bed space, units na siya. So, next is, leisure has several residential units. Kani daghan na siya og giparintahan nga residential units. So, monthly rental is less than 15 or equal to 15,000, exempted siya sa VAT. But, ang monthly income niya, ang monthly rental niya is greater than 15, and also the annual receipt of the leisure is greater than 3 million, excluding the gross receipt from unit with monthly rental of less than 15 or equal to 15. So, kung annual leisure niya is exceed 3 million, and then, so, subject siya sa kanang VAT. But, kung dili mo, kung less than lang or equal to 15, so, dili siya exempted siya sa VAT, but subject to OPT, which is percentage tax.
Case 1. List of commercial units in Makati for 15,000 per unit per month. Gross receipt during the year was 2,200,000. The developer is a VAT registered entity. So, ano siya, subject to VAT. Kay ni-exceed ang yang units, commercial units, kay commercial units man siya, so, dili na siya munang ni subject to VAT na siya. Then, case 2. List of residential unit in Makati for 15,000 per unit per month. The aggregate gross receipt of the lessor during the year was 5 million. Answer. Exempt to VAT. Exempt from VAT na siya. Kay ang yang residential unit ni wala siya ni exceed og 15,000 per month. While the iya ang gross receipt wala ni exceed siya 3 million pero wa man siya ni exceed og kuan 15,000 mo exempt from VAT na siya. List of residential units in Makati for 20,000 per unit per month. The aggregate gross receipt of the lessor was 5 million. Subject to VAT ni siya kay ang iya ang residential units ni exceed og 15,000. Dayon iya ang gross receipt ni exceed of 3 million. So, muna siyang subject to VAT. Case 4. List of residential unit, Makati with the following details. Monthly rent, annual gross receipt. Sa commercial, 12,000 pesos while the annual gross receipt is 1,800,000. Subject na siya sa VAT bisag kuan. Residential unit sa monthly rent niya kay 16,000 while the annual gross receipts 2,500,000 pesos. Ni-exceed man siya kuan 15,000. Bis mo na subject to VAT na siya. Case 5. List of residential units in Makati with the following. Monthly rent, 12,000. Annual gross receipt is 3,200. 3,200,000. So, exempt from VAT na siya kay ang monthly rent niya, wala siya di-exceed og 15,000. While the bisag ang iyang annual gross, ni-exceed siya og 3 million. Pero, kaya ang monthly rent niya, wa man siya ni-exceed og kuan 15,000 mo siyang ni-exempt from VAT na siya. Then, there is ubos 16,000 pesos and the annual gross receipt niya is 3,800,000. Wala siya subject to VAT. Kay, ang monthly rent niya ni-exceed siya og 15,000 while sa annual gross receipt niya ni-exceed po siya og 3 million. Munang subject to VAT na siya. Sa case 6. List of commercial and residential units in Makati with the following details. Monthly rent. Commercial 112,000. Annual gross receipt is 1,800,000 pesos. Residential gross receipt is 2,500,000. Subject to VAT na siya.
Sale, importation, printing, or publication of books, and any newspaper, magazine, journal, review bulletin, or any educational reading material covered by United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization or UNESCO. Agreement on the importation of education, scientific, and cultural materials, including the digital or electronic format thereof. Provide that the materials enumerated herein are not devoted principally to the publication of paid advertisement. So meaning, kani siya under BIR ruling number 083-2014, the term books, newspaper, magazine, review, and bulletin only covers printed materials in hard copy, does not apply to electronic format or version. Kani siya mga e-book, e-journals, electronic copies, online libraries, sources, and CDs, and software. Basta wala siya meant, so exempt to VAT to siya. Activities that exempt from VAT under the provision are as follows: sale, importation, printing, and publication books. Basta dili siya di wala siya gi-advertise, paid advertisement, so exempt from VAT to siya. Like aning corporation, other transaction nga subject to VAT, like printing brochure, bookbinding, stereotyping, electrotyping, lithographing of various reference book, trade books, kana siya, subject to VAT na siya. Next. transport of passenger by international carriers doing business in Philippines.